The night smelled of whiskey, sweat, and dust. The kind of night when mercy didn't exist in the hearts of men. Beneath the flickering lanterns of the Iron Spur Tavern, laughter echoed like gunshots, cruel and careless. The men gathered not for cards or whiskey this time, but for something darker, something that should never have been entertainment. In the middle of the barn, behind iron bars meant for beasts, sat a woman heavy with child, her long, pale hair clinging to her tear-streaked face. Her white dress was torn, her body weak. But her spirit, though buried under fear, hadn't died yet. They called her Number 7. No one cared to know her real name. She was part of a cruel game the saloon owner started. Women captured from broken towns, sold to bet on their suffering, their endurance, their births. Tonight, the men placed coins and cards on the dusty floor, wagering on when she would scream, when she would give birth, when she would break. Outside the ring of gamblers, one man stood apart, a tall rancher with eyes like storm, clouds and a scar that spoke of battles long fought. His name was Cole Maddox, once a gunslinger, now a wanderer. He hadn't planned to stop in this town, but fate, or something crueler, led him there. He watched, silent and still, as the men cheered. He saw her hand trembling on her belly, saw how she bit her lip to stop herself from crying out. Something inside him twisted, a feeling he thought he'd buried long ago. He knew the sound of cruelty. He'd lived it. He'd caused it. But this was worse. The saloon owner, a man with a gold tooth and a heart blacker than coal, strutted around the cage shouting, "Let the bets begin, boys." The woman gasped, not in fear this time, but in pain. Her body shook. The crowd leaned in. Cole's jaw tightened. He'd seen enough. He pushed through the crowd. "What in God's name is this?" he demanded. The laughter stopped for a moment, then resumed, louder, mocking. The gold-toothed man grinned. "Entertainment, cowboy. Don't tell me you've gone soft. She's just a number. Ain't worth your worry." Cole's hand hovered near his holster, but he didn't draw. Instead, he took a slow step toward the cage. The woman's eyes lifted for a second, meeting his. They were full of terror, and something else, hope. The men laughed again. "Want in on the bet, stranger?" One shouted. "I bet she won't make it till dawn." Another yelled. Cole didn't answer. He just looked at her, really looked. He saw the bruises, the fear, the sheer will to live still flickering behind her pain. The next scream tore through the barn. It wasn't from fear anymore, it was labor. The woman gripped the bars as her body gave in to the storm of childbirth. The men jeered, tossed coins, shouted odds. Cole's heart thundered. He'd seen battlefields quieter than this. Something in him snapped. He took a deep breath, stepped forward and said, "That's enough." The room froze. Then the laughter came again, crueler. Cole didn't flinch. He drew his revolver and shot the lantern clean off its hook. Darkness swallowed the barn, followed by chaos, shouts, scrambling boots, curses. By the time the light returned, Cole was inside the cage. His coat was over her shoulders. His revolver aimed at the door. "No one touches her," he growled. The saloon owner laughed. "You think you can stop all of us, Maddox?" Cole's eyes hardened. "Try me." Outside, thunder rolled, like the heavens themselves were watching. And in that moment, as she brought life into a world that had shown her nothing but cruelty, Cole made a silent vow. She will not die nameless. Morning broke over the town of Dust Creek. Like a bruise, soft light seeping through cracks of violence. The cage was empty now, the barn silent. Cole had carried her out before dawn, her newborn wrapped in his torn vest. He'd taken her to his ranch miles from town, a place forgotten by the world, where the wind whispered through old oaks and silence could heal. What bullets had broken? She lay on his bed, pale and still, the baby breathing softly beside her. When her eyes opened, she looked around, frightened. Cole was at the table cleaning his revolver, but his eyes softened when he saw her awake. "You're safe here," he said quietly. She blinked, voice trembling. Why did you help me?" He hesitated, then said, "Because I've done enough wrong to know what it costs not to." She turned her face toward the child, tears glistening in her eyes. "They never let me have a name," she whispered. "They called me 7. Cole stood and walked closer. "Then we'll change that." He looked out the window for a moment, as if searching the wind for an answer. "What do you want to be called?" he asked. Her lips trembled, unsure. "I don't know," she whispered. He looked at her. Not the bruises, not the pain, but the strength it took to survive it all. Then I'll name you, he said gently. Grace, because that's what you are. Her tears fell silently. Grace. It felt like breathing for the first time. Days passed. Cole buried his guns under the oak behind the ranch. He nursed her and the baby back to life, but the world didn't forgive easily. Word spread. Men from the saloon came looking for revenge, led by the gold-toothed devil himself. When they rode into the valley, they found Cole waiting by the gate. One man, unarmed but unafraid. She's not yours to hurt anymore, he said. She's Grace Maddox now. The outlaw spat. You think giving her your name makes you a hero? Cole stepped forward, eyes steady. No, it makes her human. The gunfire that followed was quick, brutal, but when the dust settled, Cole stood alone. His hands shook, but not from fear. Behind him, Grace held her child, watching through tears. He turned to her, bloodied but alive. You and him, you deserve peace, he whispered. Years later, stories spread of a rancher and the woman he saved. Folks said she ran the ranch with strength no man could match, that the child grew up strong, with her mother's heart and his father's courage, and that somewhere out there, Cole still watched over them, not as a savior, but as a man who finally found forgiveness in giving someone a name. So if you believe in stories of second chances, in the power of compassion stronger than cruelty, don't just scroll away. Subscribe, because there are still stories like Grace's out there. Stories where love breaks the bars and names replace numbers.